Do you remember the joy of owning your first robotic toy? Well, in this video, I'm going to attempt to fix this 80s classic, the ARMATRON, called Robo I in the UK. Stick with me to find out if I can, and hopefully end the video with a demo of it in action. Right, let's get started. So this item was listed on eBay as not working, sold for spares, repairs or parts, and there was also no further information on what the fault was. Let's get inside. Well packed by the seller, which is great. So we've got the manual here, which we'll come back to all of this stuff, but yeah, we've got all the information there. Here's our ARMATRON with a few of the bits and pieces. So made by Tandy and released by Radio Shack in the US, but released by Tomy under the name of Robo I in the UK. A lot smaller than I was expecting, but actually a really cool size. It's almost a desktop size. We've got some more of the pieces here, and again more of the bits here. These cylinders, kind of radioactive cylinders or whatever you drop in. Only thing this one's missing is the two blue balls, but we'll maybe source some of those if we get everything working. So let's have a look at the ARMATRON. So here's our two levers. I've never had one of these before, but when I saw them, I've been keeping my eye out to fix them, and so really excited to do this demo. So we've got two joysticks, both of which feel fine. We've got an on and an off button, something here that apparently is energy level, so I wonder if that you reset it and then maybe it ticks down based on time, because it's got 50 seconds on there, so maybe it's a 1 minute countdown. We can read the instructions if we get everything working. We've got this arm that's supposed to articulate in a number of ways, so rotate round, this part moves, that's supposed to move up and down, and the hand open and close. And so it's going to be absolutely full of cogs and things inside. Nothing obviously broken, because cogs are a nightmare, and this is going to be absolutely full of them. So first things first, let's pop some batteries in, and I know it takes two D-cell batteries which go in here. Okay, so no life there, which is kind of good and kind of bad, because there's no obvious corrosion here, but it means that maybe it's not the cogs, maybe the fault was that it just wasn't working, in which case it might just be a loose wire to our on and off switch. So they're not working, but the first thing I'll discount is just that the contact is being made. So with 3 volts bench power supply, I'll put it onto the contacts just to make sure, and still no life, so that's with the connections on there. So literally at this point there is nothing else we can do in terms of function testing, because we have no power. So let's have a look inside and see if there's anything loose. Now I'm not sure the best way to open this, because this is, like I say, it's going to be absolutely full of cogs and bits and bobs. So I think we're just looking for some Phillips. So I really don't want all these, there's a whole row of cogs there. I do not want to kind of knock over or anything like that. So I'm just going to put that to one side very carefully. Here's that inner part now with our switch. So we need to see if we can get some life into this, and again the best thing to do is just going to let's just put some power onto these, so we can, it's nice and handy. So we've got the power here, negative and positive, but that's running to that section there, and then the other one is running to them. So we've got that one's going directly to the motor, this other one's going to this part here, then down to here on the switch, and then going round there. So we'll apply our power again and just see where it's going. So there's my 3, it's fluctuating around a bit, 3, there we go. So then, anything in the motor? So the motor's getting 3. So the motor's getting 3 volts there, and then if we do this, the motor's getting 0 volts. So that's showing that power, I mean the simplest thing without having a look around all of this is that 3 volts is getting to that motor but nothing's happening, nothing's turning. So potentially it's just been jammed up because it hasn't been used for a while like that. So let's get it, just got to get it going. There we go. Alright, so this timer as well. So if we put that, so if I turn it off, move this back to here, now turn it on. So everything's now moving because we've got time on here, and then right, super. So but just a bit of a static motor. So this one is just play it safe. I'm just going to clean up some of the contacts here, even though they're fine, and then I'm going to rebuild it and we'll just see where we're at. But I was really struggling getting it back in the same way I took it out, and so I've actually found that taking the cogs off the blue housing and then putting them in one at a time, so these all kind of stack up, and then another part goes in there, will then let me drop that piece into it. It was just, you really have to do it because it has to go underneath this cog, you can't push it straight down onto it. So I've rebuilt in there, I've also put the sticks here. So at this point now, I'm going to try and slide this section down, down onto it. Okay, the moment of truth. Here we go. Brilliant. Alright, so the motor's working. So I've done some very quick function testing and everything seems to be working, which is absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do now is just tidy up some of this stuff, give it a bit of a wipe down. I'll get everything set up with the box and all the parts, and we'll do a proper demonstration of how everything works. I'll see you in a moment. Okay, welcome back, and it's time for the demonstration. So first of all, we'll get the manual out. It just shows the parts here. You're supposed to have a module, 2 of the canisters, of which we've got here, 2 of the cones, we're just missing 2 of the globes, so I'll look to replace those at some point. In here it's just about putting the stickers on, which these have all the stickers on, and it talks about the energy level. It doesn't say that it's anything to do with time, it just says it reads 55 and then counts down, and then it has all the controls. So I thought I'd just show you the controls quickly, because it works in so many different directions, up, down, left, right, as well as twisting them. So turn it on. So the left hand side, if I turn it this way, moves the front half of the arm. Same for the other way. Whereas if I use this one, it rotates the whole arm. Now if I go up on this one, you can see it's moving the hand. Whereas up and down on this, again, moves the whole arm. So we're talking gross movements on the right and smaller movements on the left. And then if we rotate this left and right, it opens and closes the hand. It does a bit of clicking. In fact, I'll just move it so you can see. So this side rotates the hand. So if I move it like this, so it closes all the way up. And opens all the way out. The only thing is that clicking when it opens and closes, but I don't know if that's normal or not, but it's working, so that's the main thing. So coming back into the manual, it tells you at this section then how to play the game, and it says that what you do is you set it up like so. So if I move this to one side, the idea, so and then basically you have to end up like this. So the idea is you set it up like this, so you put the canisters inside there, you put these on the top and then the balls are on here, and you would have, like, you know, if you're playing a 2-player game, someone would play against you, otherwise you're just playing against the time, and you're going to use the hand to move them down onto here, of which it scores different points. So canisters 15, globes 5, cones 10 points until it runs out. So you're going to use the hand to move these down onto here, move those down. If you had the balls, you'd have already moved. If you'd had the balls, you'd have already tried to put them on there, they might have rolled away. Then you put these down, then you've got to open this part up, take each of these and then put them down onto there, and it basically just shows you have you know, your start over there and the right to the side. This one has it kind of towards you. I guess you could also have it away from you, because otherwise it's kind of going to be moving in between you, which isn't as good. So when I do it, I'm going to have it set up here. I'll have my final bit here, so hopefully you can see that as well, and I'll give it a go. So we'll set that up right now. I'm guessing you have to kind of have it about in the middle, because the arm can only move so far. So I think is that maybe why it had it around, it says 8 inches in the book. So you've got to have them reasonably close, haven't you? I just want you to be able to see as well. So maybe if I have it like this, and we'll give ourselves the full allotted time, 55 on here, and if it's too noisy when I'm playing the video back, I'll swap this out for some other music, but let's see how I get on. And there we have it, with 35 left on the countdown of the last life. So I think it does 55 for each of your 10 energy levels, and just the smallest amount of cheating. And that's mainly because I find, as we mentioned earlier, when you close it, it kind of clicks a little bit, and I think that's okay, but I think it's probably a torque mechanism to stop you over talking. And a couple of times it clamped shut and I couldn't get it open, and the other time was because if you don't have it exactly within the sweep, I just moved the arm a little bit just to get it in. And also when I knocked it over, I stood it up because it said that if it falls over, the canister falls over and blows up, you lose the game. And I thought, well, I'll just keep going anyway, just to show you it and just for the video. So that brings us to the end of the video. It was quite a quick fix. It was a seized motor. It had obviously been sat for a while, so just by doing some testing on the power, working out that it was getting to the motor, I was able to give it a little nudge and get it going. And then it was a little bit tricky getting everything put back together again, but I did, and thankfully everything was functioning, because I was having absolute nightmares if it was any of those cogs inside. But in the end, here we have it, an ARMATRON from 1980. To some it's a toy, to some it's a piece of history, for some it's about engineering. I think that people mod them these days. Just a really fantastic item. And if you enjoyed the video, please feel free to click on the one that's about to be recommended to you by YouTube on here. It's one of my other videos. And until the next one, all the best, take care, and see ya.